Now let's head to the live desk for the very latest. Maria Lizignoli joins us now. And Maria, a big volunteer effort this weekend to get Fort Snelling's grounds ready for Memorial Day. We just saw that live image. Really beautiful out there. Really beautiful, yes. More than 2,400 people turned out this weekend to place flags at every headstone. That's nearly 200,000 flags. Now, the nonprofit Flags for Fort Snelling has been doing this since 2015. Being a registered 501c3 nonprofit, they put every single penny they raise back into the flags and back into making sure each and every veteran is honored. The founder says she started this because she wanted to show her daughter the true meaning of this holiday.
For me, it's very humbling. It's just bringing it back to like this is what matters. I feel like so many of the younger generations kind of lost the importance of what all of this means.
Fort Snelling will host their annual program later this morning. That starts at 10 a.m. The keynote speaker will be Richard Middleton, the commander of Fort Snelling's Memorial Rifle Squad. The flags at each headstone will stay up throughout the week, and volunteers are asking you to come help them take them down next Saturday. See, they're collected every single year so they can be used again and again. Several communities will be honoring Memorial Day today. We're going to have a look at all of those other events coming up in the next half hour. Good reminder of what the holiday means. Yeah. Thanks, Maria. Police are now asking neighbors for security video and information after a teen died in a North Mankato shooting. It caused a car to crash into a house.
Here's what we know. The shooting happened shortly after 11 o'clock Saturday night, I should say. Police say they initially responded to reports of gunfire. Well, minutes later, reports came in of a car crashing through a townhome. Officers arrived to find a 17-year-old boy who had been injured inside the car. They tried to save him, but he died at the hospital. Investigators do not believe this was random. They're asking for information about a silver 2010 Chevy Impala in the area at the time of the shooting.
Stopping teen takeovers. This was the scene in March when 100 kids showed up at a park in the North Metro. Police made some arrests when it turned violent. The Crystal Police Department increased patrols after learning a park takeover was planned again on Sunday. Last night it happened 2 years ago. Again, as you just saw in March, the Crystal Police Department said a group of 100 teenagers showed up 3 days in a row, with some starting fights and using pepper spray. Officials say officers will turn away large groups of unsupervised kids.
We talk about it at least once a month at our city council work session meetings. You know, how can we prevent this? What kinds of things can we bring to the community to give the kids something to do that's more constructive?
The police chief said officers will also take action against parents or other adults who allow kids to participate in these kinds of takeovers.
On this Memorial Day, the U.S. and Iran are said to be moving closer to a possible deal to end the war. 13 U.S. service members have died since that conflict started in February.
CBS News' Tina Krause tells us President Trump will take part in a wreath-laying ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery as negotiations with Iran press on.
A senior Trump administration official tells CBS News the Iranians have in principle agreed to a deal that would include the disposal of highly enriched uranium and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, a vital shipping route for the world's energy supplies.
So we have what I think is a pretty solid thing on the table in terms of their ability to open up the straits, get the straits open, enter into a very real, significant, time-limited negotiation on the nuclear matters.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the plan has support in the region.
We thought we might have some news last night. Maybe today. I wouldn't read too much into it. It takes a little while to hear back.
Complicating matters, CBS News has learned U.S. intelligence shows Iran's supreme leader is holed up in a secret location with little access to the outside world, and it takes time for him to receive data and send back responses. In a social media post Sunday, President Trump wrote he ordered his team not to rush into a deal and that time is on our side. But some senators are expressing concern, with reports in Iranian media suggesting Tehran may keep control over the Strait of Hormuz.
The president should have stuck to his campaign pledge of keeping us out of war and focused on bringing down prices. He's done just the opposite.
Any agreement with Iran that isn't subject to ratification by Congress is I think, going to be doomed to fail.
A top Iranian military leader says it's Tehran's legal right to control the strait. Tina Krause, CBS News, London.
Oil prices fell more than 5% overnight on hopes the U.S. and Iran could strike a deal to end the war. About 20% of the world's oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz, and blockades by both sides have driven oil and gas prices higher since the conflict began. Let's take a look at those gas prices here this morning. Many of you likely heading out on the boat or maybe home later today. Nationally, the average is at $4.51. Here in Minnesota, we're sitting a little under that at $4.31. Last month, the gallon ran at $3.77.
Tension reigned high on our nation's capital after a shooting near the White House over the weekend. Bullet holes visible in office buildings. Look at that on Pennsylvania Avenue. Shattered glass in a museum across from the White House. Gunshots on Saturday sent tourists and journalists alike scrambling. Police say the suspected gunman, a 21-year-old man, fired several shots at Secret Service booth, but just before officers returned fire, he later died at the hospital. Court records show he previously tried to get into the White House last summer, was sent to a psychiatric ward for mental health concerns. President Trump posted about the incident on social media. He says this goes to show how important it is for presidents and future presidents to get the most safe and secure space of its kind ever built, referencing his ballroom that he wants. He says it's a security complex underneath.
Now to a developing story in Southern California. Officials say there may be a positive update in the race against time after a chemical tank cracked. The industrial tank contains about 7,000 gallons of highly flammable and toxic chemicals. More than 50,000 people have been evacuated from several communities in Orange County. The worst possibility, an explosion. The second worst, a toxic leak. Experts now say it appears to have cracked, which actually could be good news.
There could be a crack on the top.
Seeing a crack in the tank in this case is a positive development?
It actually is, because if we see a crack, that's going to tell us that the pressurization that we were concerned with might not be there.
The EPA says despite the crack, there are no signs of a toxic leak.